such an asshole.
Got kind of an interesting one, a simple answer, but I think it's a sign of the times and how my advice has changed because the circumstances have changed. And God, most of success is just not fucking up, is not making mistakes. And now yet the generations before you have placed yet another landmine. What on top of all the other landmines? Yes, they placed another one for you in addition to worthless college degrees and overeducation and socialism is great and fat chicks are awesome and you don't need no it just it here's yet another landmine called like pissing away your money on rent. And this guy's from Canada where you guys have it even worse than here in the United States. All dollars amount Canadian, 29 male, bachelor's, master's in computer engineering. You live in a leftist crap hole in Canada. Job, software engineering, doing stuff. Salary, 90K after tax, 320,000 in savings. Living with parents in a condo I grew up in. Question: do I buy a one-bedroom condo for around 5 to 600,000? Yes, prices are fucked in Canada. Well, US, that's what was about 8 to 10. So 350-ish. I'm not gonna look it up. Do you remember Stephen Harper when you were on par with the US dollar? One Canadian dollar equals one US dollar. Ah, you elected the biggest pussy that ever lived in Canada. But he's pretty. Oh, Steve Harper, the boring economist, a Canadian who was doing really well. Let's not vote this guy because his dad did such a great job. It will require a 200 to $300,000 mortgage. Works out to be around 2K per month with a $300,000 payment at 5.5%. Alternatively, I stay at home and invest it all in stocks. Just something for you to further evaluate. If inevitably your goal is to buy property, nothing wrong with stocks, diversified portfolio, all that other stuff. Make sure it's diversified, like a index fund or a mutual fund, diversified mutual fund. But if your goal is to inevitably buy property, you may want to look at real estate investment trusts, especially in the area you're thinking about buying. If there's a regional real estate investment trust, because that's going to, in theory, better correlate with housing prices. So you would be better hedged against housing inflation or real estate inflation than a diversified S&P 500 index sort of thing. Just something to consider. But if I buy a condo, the only way to afford the mortgage payments responsibility is to put a massive down payment for which I could, but I'm not sure the opportunity cost is worth it. What would you do? Rent is like 2,500 a month. And I said, I'm confused. You pay your parents 2,500 a month rent. And what would your mortgage be if you go with the condo? My three options are: one, rent a one-bedroom condo, which would cost me 2,500 a month, likely to increase with time. Two, stay at home, no rent. My dad says he doesn't mind. Invest 90% of my income in stocks. Wait for a real estate crash. I don't think it's going to crash because of high immigration and underbuilding. Yeah. Well, don't worry. Diversity is immigration is going to solve it all. It's going to solve everything. Should we all become engineers and programmers and tradesmen? No. Just become like your president. The world's biggest. Doesn't he have a degree in theater? Isn't he? I mean, he is the world's biggest pussy. Three, buy a one-bedroom condo for about 600K, which comes out to be about 1,800 per month mortgage plus property tax, insurance, maintenance, etc. and anything. Please keep me anonymous. Nice, cool things you're doing there. I won't mention it. So here's the deal. Yeah, I would just stay at home. I would just live at home until you have enough money accumulated to buy yourself a condo or whatever type of housing you want at that moment in time. I understand the compunction to get out and kind of leave your folks alone, but rents are so ridiculously high as well in Canada, even more so. It's just a pissing away of money. You're not getting that money back. We are going back to the olden days where you just live with family to save money because it's cost prohibitive to go and live out on your own. Now you're in a great position because you make a lot of money. You have a very good job. You're saving your money. That's great. I mean, you're kind of already halfway there. You got 320,000 saved up. Average condo going for about 5 to 600. So you're a little bit more than halfway there. Just why bother with the mortgage at all? You're gonna have to pay enough in property taxes, insurance, and all that other stuff. I would just stick it out with your folks a little bit longer. Be very thankful to them. The best thing the parents can do nowadays in the West is let their kids live with them, assuming the kids are like this guy, busted his ass off, saving up the money, working hard. And then you go out and you buy yourself pretty much a house for cash, whichever type of house that might be. It just isn't worth it. It isn't. No, don't. Even $1,600 a month, that's not worth it. Save that. It can be a retirement. And as I've said before, with very rough back of napkins economics, you're obviously older. But if American kids at 18 just decide to live at home, bust their ass off, working two jobs, squirrel away all the money, let mom and dad, if they were kind enough to allow you, invest in the S&P 500, blah, 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 blah. In about 4 years' time, when all the other dipshits are graduating from college, you will have saved up around 150 to $200,000, and you're already there. You got more than that adjusted for purchasing power and the exchange rate. I would just keep on going until you got enough to pay off the house, and then you got no. Well, you always have problems, but you don't. You really, you're not dipping into your savings account or your RRSP. You're not crippling your retirement just so you can buy a house. As long as your parents are kind enough to allow that, absolutely. The only thing I'd say though is if your parents are kind enough to do that, yeah, man, you owe them. Like, take care of them. Those are loving folks. Those are folks you should take care of. Mom needs help moving or whatever, absolutely. Dad needs help with something, absolutely. It's great to see that parents are like that. And if your dad's giving you the green light, do it. Uh, and you'll be better. I know, Democrats, or in your case, Labor. No, not Labor. What the hell is the party up there? There's a conservative. What the hell is? There's two of them. You got the East Indian dude who just comes over there. Give me money. I'm a bitch. And then the NDP. I forgot. Stop paying attention. For all you leftists up there, you have the government. Good luck with that. And then for the rest of you, you got families. The traditional conservative. I mean that in a social sense, not a political sense. So you got families that'll take care of you. Oh my God. Did the nuclear families win again in the end? Who would have thought? There you go. All right. So yeah, you got my blessing. I just stay with your folks, save up the money. That's it. No super chats. Link below. For those of you who have financial troubles, for those of you who I can't afford rent. Duh. I know, unfortunately, for those of you who don't have parents that stuck together and could provide a nuclear family for you, get your financial act together. There's a book called Bachelor Pad Economics, all the major and minor financial decisions you have to make in your life from age 14 to death. You can find that there. And if you want something a little bit more philosophical, like, well, why do I have to save money? How do I save money quickly? Why is it people who are rich are miserable often when they have every physical material item and thing? I don't get it. Go take Achieving Financial Excellence. That's also linked below and available on teachable.com. See you guys later. Toodles.